YouTube. Today we're gonna be working on a project on my bike. So I just picked up this Intense Cycles Spider 275A and I'm trying to get all the shocks dialed in. And what I'm discovering is this front shock is a RockShox Pike. So this front shock, I'm trying to get it dialed in with the pressure and the rebound of the compression. And from what I was reading, that a heavier rider like me, I weigh about 200 pounds fully dressed for riding. And they say that when you're a heavier rider like that, you want to take up some of the space in the air chamber with bottomless tokens. Well, what is a bottomless token? I think if I was at Chuck E. Cheese, I would want some bottomless tokens. That sounds great. But what is a bottomless token when it comes to a bicycle? Well, it's these little things. So these are considered bottomless tokens. And the idea of these is that they can thread together and you can use as many as you need to take up as much space as you want. There's a chart from RockShox that shows how many you should have. You can have as few as 1, as many as 4 on this particular shock. A guy like me, my size, my riding style, I think I'm gonna go with 3. So I'm gonna open up the shock and I'm gonna see how many is in there, and then I'll take it from there and I'll add another however many I need to get up to 3. Maybe there's even 3 in there. We're gonna find out when we do this. Then we're gonna adjust the pressure and take this thing for a ride. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you the procedure on how to install some bottomless tokens, how to set your sag, all that good stuff. Okay, the first step is you're gonna wanna take off the air pressure cap. It just twists off, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. So then inside you've got a Schrader valve. You wanna let all the air out. Okay, so I let the air out and that dropped the shock down, and I just used a screwdriver to press down the center of the Schrader valve and it let all the air out. So then you're gonna need to get, on this style, this shock, I'm gonna use a 24 millimeter socket and a ratchet, and I'm gonna take this off. Okay, I got ratchet, 24 millimeter socket. Let's put it on here. Whoops. Ratchet, got 24 millimeter socket. It's gonna take this cap off. It's a normal thread, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Okay, I got the cap all the way loose, and take this out, and there's a bottomless token in there. So there's 1 in here, and I wanna go to 3. So I wanna get 3 in here. I'm gonna add 2 more onto them. So you can see here that these are threaded, and then they've got an Allen wrench style hex head through the middle so that you can tighten it up. I've got 1, I'm gonna add 2 onto it. It takes a 8 millimeter Allen wrench hex head, and they just thread on like any normal threaded item. It's very important that these stay on tightly. So I would put 1 on and then tighten it down, then add another one and tighten that one down. You don't want these coming loose. You want those real good and snug. So 2 on, gonna add the 3rd one. Okay, I got my 3 bottomless tokens installed on here. Now we're gonna put this back in, and you're just gonna tighten it back down. Okay, I got the tokens in, got it all back together. Now it's time to pump it up and set my sag. So we're gonna use the RockShox Trailhead app and put in my weight, the serial number for the fork, and then we're gonna see what it recommends for the rebound and for the air pressure. There's also a chart on the side of the shock that shows recommended air pressure based on the weight of the rider. You can consult that, but I also like to use the RockShox Trailhead app. So I'm gonna do a screen record and show you how that works. Okay, on this particular RockShox Pike fork, The serial number is located on the back side of the fork, so you're going to need that when you enter it into the app. So the app calls for 95 psi on the shock, and then it also covers for negative or for 7 clicks of rebound. And I'm going to go ahead and start with the 95 psi. That also corresponds to what the chart on the side of the shock says. And then we're going to go ahead and set our sag after I do the 95 psi. So I got your standard shock pump here, high pressure, low volume pump. And it's just gonna thread on right here. Then we're gonna pump it up until the gauge reads about 95 pounds. Okay, I got the pressure set to about 95 psi. So I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the pump, then I'm gonna set my sag. Okay, I got it pumped up. Now it's time to set the sag. So they say when you set the sag, that you wanna open up your rebound and your compression knobs all the way to the full open position. And then you want to get on the bike. Or you want to push the shock up and down to pass the 50% mark at least 3 times to really get the air equalized out. Then you want to get on the bike and really bounce it up and down and have an assistant hold the bike so it doesn't fall while you're bouncing it. Then finally you want to take this this red wiper down and you want to see where your sag ends up, and you've got a sag chart on the side. So with my size and riding style, I want to go for about 20 to 30% sag. I think 30 is ideal, but if I can get somewhere between 20 and 30%, that'll be where I want to go. Then I'm gonna take it out for a test ride after we do this. So I've got an assistant here and we're gonna do this. Okay, I've got my compression knob all the way open. I got the rebound knob all the way open. And then they say to push the shock down past 50% at least 3 times. I tried to do it like 4 or 5 times. So that equalizes the air, makes sure everything's ready to go. So I've got that set. Now the next step is to actually get on the bike. They say to have an assistant hold the bike for you. You can do that or just get it alongside like a fence or something. And you want to bounce it up and down and then come to a rest with all your weight sitting on the bike. You want to push the ring down so you can see where it ends up at, and then you want to get off the bike without compressing the shock anymore. So do it real nice and gentle, and then bring the camera over. Come on around this side. So come on in close here, and you can see I'm on about 25% sag, and that's good enough. I don't really want to mess with letting the air out and trying to get it any closer. So 25%, that's between the initial, the 20 and 30% goal I set out for. Then the app showed that I want to set my rebound to 7. So right now it's set it all the way out, all the way full open on the turtle. So I'm gonna click it back 7 clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got the rebound set, and then the compression up top. From what I read online, a lot of people with this shock, they like to go about 4 clicks, 3, 4, 5 clicks. So I'm gonna go, actually it's from full open, they like to go back. So I've got it full open now. I'm sorry, that's full closed. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clicks from full open, and now I should be set. So you wanna check that when you hit the brakes, it doesn't dive down too much. See, it's diving a little bit, so I might change my compression, make it a little bit stiffer. I'll go like maybe 3 more clicks. So now I hit my brakes and it's not diving as much. and then I'm gonna get my gear on. I'm gonna go for a ride and see how this works. So the idea of the tokens was that it takes up some of the air volume in the shock, so you don't need as much air to hit the total pressure that you're looking for, and it's better for a bigger guy like me to have less air doing the work and let the shock do its job. So thanks for watching. Hope I helped people out with installing tokens and setting their sag. Anyway, give me a like, comment, subscribe. Sure appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot. Bye.